Welcome to Graceland, home of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Elvis is credited with starting the rock and roll craze that stormed the nation in the 1950s, forever changing the landscape of American music. He purchased the home that is now known as Graceland when he was 22 years old and made the 14-acre estate his home until his death in 1977. Open to the public in 1982, Graceland is a rich source of Elvis nostalgia and is a must-see for fans and music lovers alike. Well, here we are at the front steps of Graceland. Here we're with Kevin Kern. How you doing, buddy?
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Graceland.
And you're going to take us on an amazing tour.
Sure are. The King's Castle. Let's go check it out.
The King's Castle. We love it. Okay, we got the doors. We got to go through here and get started. This should be great. Kevin, this is pretty impressive. You got the stained glass and the couch and all. This is just how Elvis lived, right?
This is the living room. This is where Elvis would have entertained a variety of guests, family and friends that would come visit the king at his castle, Graceland, here in Memphis. And classic 60s stylings here. We've got the white carpet, the white furnishings, and of course, you see these custom peacock stained glass panels that lead into the music room, which that is one of 4 pianos that was in that room during Elvis's lifetime. And also, at the very end of the room is a television set, one of 14 in Graceland. Keep in mind, Graceland, Memphis didn't have cable back during Elvis's lifetime. There were only 4 television stations on the air, but Elvis was an RCA recording artist, and RCA also made electronics. Therefore,
absolutely,
he had all that he could possibly want from RCA.
Wonderful. Okay, what's next?
We'll go check out the dining room.
So this is Elvis's actual dining room where he ate a lot of his meals.
Exactly. This is where the Presley family would have dined each evening, just off the kitchen here. And of course, Elvis would have sat at the head of the table. Actually, at this end of the table, there's a little buzzer underneath there, so Elvis could ring the kitchen. But for the most part, the kitchen's just right over there. So in the South, we typically just yell.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah. And then so we got the kitchen, and it's in the same condition. So we're gonna see some old appliances and everything. And
we're not actually gonna see the kitchen on camera.
All right, very good. So
you've got to come to Graceland to see the kitchen.
So that's incentive right there, right?
Exactly.
Fascinating. So what's the next room we're going to see?
The next room we're going to see is the world famous Jungle Room.
Jungle Room. Let's do it.
Shag carpet all the way.
Gotta love that.
All right, let's go check it out.
Well, I really feel like I'm in the 60s now. We're standing on some green shag carpet. It's amazing.
I know, it's totally 60s.
Yeah.
But this was not only a sign of the times, this was also great for acoustics. So there's shag carpet on both the floor and ceiling, and Elvis, that really allowed the king of rock and roll to make music here at Graceland. He actually recorded a portion of 3 albums in this room because of the great acoustics provided by that shag carpet.
Yeah, actually, it's on the ceiling as well, and I can notice it. The sound just stops.
It does stop.
This is amazing.
So it's like a little mini private recording studio. But for the most part, the Den is simply what this room was known as when Elvis lived here. It didn't become the Jungle Room until Graceland opened for tours, and it just became nicknamed that in popular culture, and it's stuck today, but it was simply known as the Den. But inspired by Elvis's love of Hawaii, he filmed 3 movies there. He vacationed there quite a bit, his world-famous Aloha from Hawaii concert. So this room is really inspired by Hawaii rather than the jungle. But
yeah, I noticed kind of the Hawaii feel to it, and the vibe and the carvings.
Very
and
much so.
Yeah, this is an amazing room, and he did a lot of hanging out with his buddies in here, huh?
Exactly. This was kind of the wild room, and there's a waterfall at the end of the room, but in front of that would have been one of those large projection tube big screen televisions from back in the day, and so again provided by RCA because Elvis was an RCA recording artist. So the latest and greatest electronics in the King's Castle here.
Wow, amazing. Well, this is definitely a unique room, and we're glad you let us come and check it out.
All right, next stop is the King's Bling, all of his gold and platinum records.
Ooh, let's check it out.
All right, let's go.
Pretty exciting. So this actually used to be a racquetball court.
I know, underneath our feet, you can hear it. It's a hollow floor. There's a racquetball court just underneath us, but all around us are gold and platinum, multi-platinum albums for Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. Elvis still continues to receive sales awards from the RIAA still even to this day because he still continues to sell. One of his biggest selling albums is going to be his Christmas album because that's a little evergreen and continues to sell each December. But it's just a testament to his legacy, which lives on today through his music. But also here in the racquetball building, we've got some of Elvis's famous jumpsuits.
Yeah, the jumpsuits, yes.
Which
gotta have the jumpsuits.
Gotta have the jumpsuits. You know, Elvis transitioned to an on-stage costume type apparatus known as the jumpsuit in the late 1960s, 1969 in the International Hotel in Las Vegas. But Elvis's unique style of the jumpsuit eventually influenced the likes of Evel Knievel, who was a huge Elvis fan, who wore a jumpsuit style costume.
Almost like a superhero costume.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Which Elvis was a big fan of comics. Drawing on that, and this is also a little bit of an inspiration from the karate.
The Kempo. He was into Kempo karate.
He was. So this kind of influenced the design, and then the IC Costume Company, which stands for Ice Capade Costume Company, which did a lot of stage wear for performers, was responsible for producing these.
They're quite unique and amazing, and what a trendsetter.
One of a kind, the king of rock and roll.
That's right. The home tour has lots more to offer. We only scratched the surface of the estate. So you definitely want to make Graceland a destination on your next trip to Tennessee. As part of your admission, you can walk through the Vintage Car Museum featuring many of Elvis's famous automobiles and step on board the Lisa Marie, Elvis's personal aircraft. This one-of-a-kind plane is fit for a king, the king of rock and roll, that is. Personally decorated by Elvis himself, the Lisa Marie features a private bedroom, seating area, conference room, onboard audio-visual system, and even gold-plated fixtures. All of Elvis's memorabilia is an amazing sight to see. However, the most special part of the Graceland tour is the final stop. The Meditation Garden is the final resting spot of Elvis, and visitors can take pause and take a moment to reflect on Elvis's legacy and place in rock and roll history.
We are just outside the Meditation Garden, which was an original rose garden when Elvis purchased the home, and part of this brick backdrop and the stained glass that you'll see was created when Elvis lived here, and he had no intentions of being buried here at Graceland, but out of necessity after his passing in 1977, Elvis was buried here at Graceland, and it's just a quiet moment of reflection to pay your respects to the king of rock and roll. So I'll let you go ahead and go on and pay your respects.
Kevin, this was an amazing tour. Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming. We enjoyed it.
Really appreciate it. I mean, I felt like I was in Elvis's home and I felt his presence. It was amazing.
Well, we hope you felt like you were treated like rock and royalty.
Yep, by the king of rock and roll himself.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And and Memphis is a pretty amazing place, and Graceland being here, I mean, there's a lot of things going on here.
But don't forget the barbecue. It's the best barbecue on both sides of the Mississippi here in Memphis.
Oh, you're calling it out now, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to try that while we're here.
Please do.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. And until next time, just remember to enjoy.